So we're skipping all this actually. I'm going to make a big canvas right up here. I'm going to customize it myself. It's going to give me a big square. You can always go to view actual size. Where is it? Well, maybe you can't. But that's actually going to be, it doesn't look big right now, but it actually is huge. I'm going to open up my image that we just created, and I'm going to go to Edit, Copy. Now I'm going to go into Photopea. This is a really amazing website because it knows what's up. I'm going to hit Paste. Look how small that is, right? So if we go to Image and go to Canvas size, this is 6,000 by 6,000 pixels. So I just said a second ago that a full HD monitor is 1920 by 1080. My monitor is probably way less because I took a screenshot of this thing at full size and clicking it on the desktop. Let's see if I can open up the info for it. The size it captured on the window is 15,000. Can you see that? 15,000 by 813 pixels. So that's your screen. That's how monitors are measured, if you don't know. Anyway, that's super small. So our canvas size is huge, right? So let's just see what we can do. I pasted that thing just by hitting Command V. I can paste more if I want. And it pops up in these layers things. If you go to your toolbar, click this arrow here, and if you hover over it for a second, it'll tell you what it is. This is the marquee. Well, it should. Yeah, see, that's the select tool. This is the marquee tool. This is the lasso tool. And I have a bunch of them. So that's this layer. And I can just, yeah, you have to select the layer before you can move it, right? So I could, let's say, put that here. And this is going to have a nice like snapping function. You can see how that red line pops up. I'm going to zoom in actually. And it's zooming in just in the program, not on the website, which is handy. It's snapping on the middle of the canvas right now. I could view, turn on my rulers. Then I can click a ruler and I can drag over a guide. And I'm going to snap it. You can see how if I were to move my thing over. If I drag the ruler, it's going to want to hug the edge of that image. I don't want to nerd out too bad. So the hand tool is really good. Where is that guy? It's down here. The hand tool. I can move around the thing like that. You zoom in, and you can see how this is super high resolution. It's looking really crisp. And select your select tool. Watch as it sort of jumps onto the edge of this thing. Click. It sits right on there, and you know it does because I can select my magnifying tool, and I can zoom in way into this thing, and then you can look at the pixel by pixel thing, and it's right there. So for you perfectionists, you OCD people, you can do this. So now I can grab my other layer, and I can move it onto that guide as well. And I can zoom out again, and then I could select two of these. I could right-click it. I can merge them, make one. Then I could copy them and paste them. That didn't work. You can hit undo a whole lot, and in your history, it shows you what's going on. You can always back up in there. Again, you guys can definitely do this assignment, this final in Google Sheets, but this Photopea is a sweet, sweet program. So if you're inclined, you should check it out. I know it's going to take some sort of experimenting. You may have to get on YouTube and think, oh, how do I change the color of a thing? How do I make two things like line up in Photoshop? And you can find tutorials on it. We live in a YouTube world. You kind of can answer every question on there, can't you? So let's see, how would I copy and paste this layer? Let's say we grab this selection tool and we just grab this whole thing. Then I'm going to go to Edit, Copy, Edit, Paste, and it's going to paste it right on top. So I have to grab my selection tool and then pull it over. If I want to make sure that they snap together on the top, I want to drag a guide onto the top of that first one. And then this will snap together nicely. Now you can see how out of that sort of tiled image we did before, we're now getting another, we're sort of jumping around, we're sort of cheating, right? What I can do, I can always, if these guys are bugging you, you can always go up to view. You want to just explore these things, right? Go to view, you can turn off extras. Now I can go into here, I can select one of these that I've made, and I can go up to edit, let's see, image, let's go to image, adjustments, color balance. Yeah, just start fooling around. And so this isn't exactly like in our homework assignments, like selecting the perfect color and sort of knowing what you're getting. But I do this all the time. I'm like, I start out with something and then I start fooling with it and realize, oh my God, that looks so much better, right? And then you can just like get rid of that thing. You can always click this eyeball and just make it go away. Edit, copy, edit, paste. Oh, go back, go away. If you ever want to copy and paste something in here, I guess you have to select it like this, then go. Make sure you have that layer you want to copy, edit, paste. See? So now we got a whole new thing, right? Okay, one last thing. Thinking about that optical mixing thing that I covered in my lecture. I know it was very brief, and it's like a whole other zone we could go into. I looked up vintage wallpaper. If you just type, and I typed in design, if you just type in wallpaper, you're going to get all these desktop computer background images. But thinking about like value, this one here, for example, is a much darker value than something like this or like this. But I'm going to look for style. I kind of like this one. Oh, in Google Images, you Google something, you go to Images, then you want to go to Tools, click that. You want to go to Image Size, Large, because that's that same resolution issue we were just talking about. If you don't select that, you're going to end up getting a bunch of small, dinky, blurry photographs. So this is a nice big image. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to copy image. I'm going to go back to Photopea, edit, paste. There it is. Now what can we do with that? Let's put it on top of all these layers. You guys are going to flip if you haven't used Photoshop before. Right? Well, we can't see them. It's in the way. Then you can try out these cool, I don't know what they're called, layer effects. So this is called collage. And I wish I had you guys for another, I wish you were all be art majors and then we could just keep going over all this stuff. But yeah, the idea of layering found materials, cutting and pasting them, sticking them together, doing whatever you want is called collage. But look how dope that looks. I could go to edit, transform, rotate, and it's going to be not totally smooth. If I hold down shift, it'll jump between increments of like 15 degrees, I think. I could go to edit, transform, scale. We've talked about scale. That's one of the design elements. And I can mess it around. If I hold down shift at this point, it's going to keep its proportions. If I let go of shift, it can get real squirrely. Click shift again, and it'll jump back into place to its proportions. Right? So that looks pretty sick already. See what I mean? Look, this is where we started. And at the time, we're like, oh my God, that's so awesome. It's beautiful. And it is when it's filling the screen, right? But then you start fooling around, all this stuff starts happening. You may want to make that normal and move it back behind these two things. Select both of these. Oh,